20 signs she regrets leaving you and wants you back. Breakups are messy, complicated, and often full of second-guessing. When she walked away, she probably thought she was making the right choice. But here's the thing. Sometimes, after the dust settles, regret creeps in like an uninvited guest. It doesn't always show up in obvious ways, though. In this video, we're going to break down 20 subtle yet powerful signs she regrets leaving you and secretly wants you back, with the last sign being the ultimate proof. If you're new, this channel's all about helping men master dating, daily. Comment your thoughts below and subscribe for more. 1. She rewrites the past to make herself the hero. When she talks about your relationship now, it's like she's narrating a documentary where she's the misunderstood protagonist. Instead of owning her mistakes, she spins stories where she was noble and self-sacrificing. Why? Because it's easier to rewrite history than to admit she might have been wrong. Deep down, she regrets leaving. But instead of saying that outright, she's building a narrative to justify why she walked away. The twist? This revisionist history is often a cover-up for guilt and a longing to return to something she now realizes she undervalued. 2. She lingers in your spaces without a real reason. You notice her showing up in places you frequent. Not in a stalkerish way, but just enough to raise an eyebrow. Maybe she suddenly starts going to that coffee shop near your office, or she's randomly at the same social event as you. It's like she's leaving breadcrumbs, hoping you'll notice her without having to admit she misses you. This isn't coincidence. It's strategy wrapped in plausible deniability. 3. She defends you in conversations with others. If you hear through the grapevine that she's sticking up for you, especially around friends who might have supported the breakup, that's a major clue. Regret often shows itself through overcompensation. She's basically saying, "I made a mistake," without ever having to say those exact words. Defending you is her way of softening the narrative and laying the groundwork for a potential reunion. 4. Her social media gets oddly cryptic. One day she's posting selfies living her best life, and the next she's sharing vague quotes about loss, mistakes, or second chances. These aren't random posts. They're emotional smoke signals. It's like she's testing the waters, wondering if you'll pick up on her hints without her having to send a direct message. Think of it as a digital way of whispering, "I miss you." 5. She circles back to unfinished conversations. When she reaches out, notice what she brings up. If she's revisiting old arguments or half-finished talks you had before the breakup, it's not because she enjoys rehashing drama. It's because those conversations still matter to her, and she's looking for closure, or maybe even a do-over. This is a subtle way of saying, "I wish we'd ended differently," or not at all. A lot of guys think they fully understand attraction, but what we cover here is really just the tip of the iceberg. Inside our members area, we go much deeper with private methods we can't share publicly. And that's why members tend to see results so fast. You can join through the pinned comment or the members tab. 6. She gets nostalgic about oddly specific memories. When someone truly regrets leaving, they don't just say, "I miss you." Instead, they'll casually drop hyper-specific memories into conversation. "Remember that rainy Tuesday when we got stuck in the subway and you told that ridiculous joke?" These oddly detailed callbacks aren't about nostalgia alone. They're about pulling you back into the shared world you once had, one memory at a time. 7. She acts overly neutral when you date someone new. If she really didn't care, she'd either congratulate you or ignore the situation completely. But if she goes out of her way to seem too neutral, that's a tell. Overly casual reactions are usually a mask for intense feelings. It's like she's wearing emotional sunglasses, hoping you won't notice the jealousy in her eyes. 8. She keeps tabs on you through third parties. When you start hearing sentences like, "Oh, she asked about you the other day," pay attention. If she's consistently getting updates on your life through mutual friends, it's because she still feels invested. This behavior often starts before she's ready to admit, even to herself, that she regrets walking away. 9. She tries to mirror your growth. Let's say you've been hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or focusing on career goals. Suddenly, she's making similar moves. This isn't just coincidence, it's mimicry. By aligning her growth with yours, she's subconsciously trying to close the gap between who you are now and who she needs to be to fit back into your life. 10. She circles back to inside jokes. Out of nowhere, she drops one of your old inside jokes into a text or conversation. These shared references are like secret handshakes. They remind you of the bond you once had. It's her way of testing whether that unique connection between you two still exists. 11. She avoids dating seriously. Sure, she might go on casual dates, but there's always a pattern. Nothing sticks. Maybe she says she's just not ready or focusing on herself. But if this becomes a recurring theme, It could be because she's still emotionally tied to you. It's hard to move forward when part of her heart is still stuck in the past. 12. She slips your name into unrelated conversations. You hear from a mutual friend that she mentioned you while talking about something completely unrelated. This isn't accidental. When someone regrets leaving, your name tends to float to the surface like a buoy in deep water. It's a sign you're still very present in her internal dialogue. 13. She reaches out during odd, vulnerable moments. It's one thing for her to text you on your birthday. It's another for her to reach out late at night or during a random weekday when she's feeling off. These moments are significant because regret often strikes hardest when someone's guard is down. Those messages are her way of seeking comfort from the person she truly wishes was still by her side. 14. She reacts strongly to your milestones. Got a promotion? Moved to a new city? Even if she doesn't say much, watch closely. If her reaction feels unusually intense, whether overly supportive or oddly distant, it means she's emotionally invested. Regret often manifests as heightened sensitivity to changes in your life, especially changes that might move you further away from her. 15. She casually mentions what could have been. You're talking about something completely mundane, and she drops a line like, "We always talked about going there together," or "We could have done that trip last summer." These offhand comments are more than idle chatter. They're breadcrumbs leading back to her regret, little acknowledgments of the future she wishes she hadn't walked away from. 16. She shows sudden interest in your passions. Back when you were together, maybe she didn't care about your obscure hobbies or niche interests. Now, she's suddenly curious about them. This isn't random enthusiasm. It's her attempt to reconnect with the version of you she once had access to. By showing interest in what matters to you, she's signaling that she wants to rebuild that bridge. 17. She reaches out with practical excuses. She might text you about something seemingly harmless, like asking for a recipe you once made or the name of that podcast you recommended. On the surface, it's just a practical question, but underneath, it's a safe way for her to reestablish contact without having to admit she just misses you. 18. She hints at shared routines. When she casually mentions things like, "I walked past that park we used to go to," or "I finally tried that restaurant we always talked about," she's not just reminiscing. These are strategic mentions designed to pull you into a shared emotional space. It's her way of saying, "Remember us?" without outright saying it. 19. She initiates playful conflict. Sometimes, instead of reaching out with sweetness, she'll poke at you playfully, teasing, challenging, or even lightly criticizing. This isn't hostility, it's a form of intimacy. By stirring up a little playful conflict, she's testing whether there's still enough spark between you to handle both tension and laughter. 20. She subtly positions herself back into your future. This is the big one. If she starts talking about future events in a way that includes you, even casually, it's a clear sign she's imagining a second chance. Maybe she says, "We should check out that concert when it comes to town," or "Next winter, you'd love that ski trip." These aren't just words. They're quiet admissions that she regrets leaving and hopes to write a new chapter with you. When someone regrets leaving you, they rarely come right out and say it. Pride, fear, and uncertainty often get in the way. Instead, you'll see it in the subtle ways they orbit your life, trying to reconnect without fully exposing their vulnerability. The key is to pay attention to patterns, not isolated incidents. One cryptic social media post might mean nothing, but a combination of these 20 signs, that's a different story. If you've noticed several of these behaviors, she's likely wrestling with deep regret and quietly hoping you'll give her the chance to make things right. Whether you choose to open that door is entirely up to you.